Testing, testing. 1, 2. Alright. Guess I'm ready for another week of dev chat. Just open up a few things. And drop into the server. And then we wait. John says it's going to be really late today, so I'm not sure if he will be able to present. And I'm just gonna wait for Devious. Okay. Anyways, there's a few things I've done in the week, although not as much as I would have liked. Bulk of the time was spent on, looking through homework submissions for my part-time job. But I did manage to submit version 1.9.0, which is great. And I'm going to release the playtesting build in a moment, and I have to set up like the store page for version 1.9.0 as well. So something I need to do later. Yeah, there's also something I have to do for that I had done for the Android version of Saw Blades, and I did a couple more animations for my new prototype, but still no gameplay. It's been focusing on other stuff. And then I did, just as a curious experiment, I did sprite stack lighting. So it's basically trying to do 3D lighting in an obviously 2D scene. Right, so you can see like I have like cubes, right, and there are 3D lightings, but they are actually all like flat. It's just an illusion. I think I got it to the point where I more or less have like legitimate 3D lighting in there, but it's not perfect. You can tell that like the corners of the cube is lighting up when it shouldn't, and I think that's like it has a limitation of it being 2D, and I have to figure out a way to get around this problem. Yeah, but it's fun to work on, right? Like I thought about it during the week, and I thought, hey, I wanted to try this out, and I tried it out, and it seems to work fine. For most part. So that's good. Let me just prepare everything. So these are the animations that I worked on. Have not integrated into the game yet. Yeah, yet to integrate them. I guess that's it. Not a lot to talk about. Not a lot. I should maybe prepare my tablet, right, in case I need to explain how things work. So let me vacuum my tablet a little. It's a bit dusty. Okay, that works. Hello, Devious. Be right back. Got it, got it.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Hello, Devious. How's
Hello.
it going?
Another day.
Another day, yeah. Uh, John will be really late. He's at the he's
Hello, delicious
Yeah,
friends.
it's
what
here right
the?
now.
I thought you'd be really really late. That's what you said.
I said I might be late.
Oh, you said you might be
Oh,
super late.
yeah, I said I might be super late.
Oh,
Well, I guess that part wasn't true.
are you at home or are you at your your girlfriend's place?
I'm at my girlfriend's place.
Hello.
She's not here.
Oh, she's
She's
not
out
here.
having lunch with her family
Oh, I see.
in the dining room.
I see. Okay then.
So I sneaked off. I snuck off. I
Snuck off. Wow.
snuck,
Well,
sneaked, snuck.
well.
Couldn't get away
Thanks.
from me.
Thanks for coming by, John.
Yeah.
Are you ready to share your stuff? Is everyone ready? Like, how's everyone's week?
Yeah.
I mean, Divya says it's another day. It is another day.
Flew
Same
by
old,
so
same old.
fast.
Yeah, it is. Like, I don't know, time flies, man. I feel like
Mm,
ever since graduation from school, like time just seems to fly by.
Oh, isn't that like every day since since school since school started?
Since school started.
Every day just goes by, especially in university. It's like every day just goes. Oh no! And suddenly, like exams are here. Suddenly, project deadlines are here.
You think? I don't know. I just feel like after university, after graduation, uh, I think we once you get into a routine, a daily routine, things just seems to fly by a lot faster.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't actually have many things to show today. How about your
yeah, sort of.
sort of awesome? John didn't give an answer, so I think.
At least one of us here has something to show.
All right, John.
Okay.
You know what to do.
I know what to do. Well, you know how me being super late was a lie.
Uh-huh. You doing
Well,
anything is
me,
also
me finishing this thing, it was also a lie.
right.
No.
Wait, can I? I mean, I guess we expected that, but can I pause? Stop you for a moment. Han is here. Hello, Han. Good afternoon. Han is asking, are you guys familiar with mixing-based programming? I'm not sure what that is. Have you heard of that term?
What?
Mixing.
Oh, mixin.
Yeah, mixin-based.
Mixins.
Mixin.
Mixins are like, it's like not exactly inheritance, but it kind of like you can take chunks of code and sort of put them into your objects. You can say like, oh, I want to pull this chunk of code into my class. So it's not exactly inheritance, but kind of similar. I think that's how it works. I haven't really dealt with programming languages that use mixins.
Is it like a language feature bound to any programming language?
Yeah, I think some languages like I think was it Ruby or something has mixins.
Right, and it's not inheritance.
Yeah, it's not exactly inheritance because you don't really inherit from a class. You just like mixins are sometimes described as being included rather than inherited.
Right.
A mixin is a class that contains methods for use by other classes without having to be a parent class of those classes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So some languages, I don't know. Programming languages that use mixins. C#.
I didn't know C# has that.
If you use your default methods of interfaces.
Right.
Oh, okay. I guess.
But that isn't that a lot like inheritance.
Kinda, yeah. Kinda. Yeah, I guess. And Ruby has mixins. Java mixins, not so sure. Yeah. Oh well. Default methods of interfaces. Well, that's still inheritance, kind of inheritance.
Yeah,
Oh well.
right.
Yeah.
Han says it's like polymorphism on steroid.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry, we don't have a lot to add to that. I don't think neither of us have done. None of us here have done like much of it, right? I have not done.
Yeah.
I have not even heard of the term. until today.
Yeah.
Mix-in.
Yeah, so like I think Ruby has like a dedicated keyword, like you just say mix in or something like that, and you just include the function in or something like that.
Right, right.
Examples, actually, there's an example here. Common Lisp in Python. You can define a class that I don't know how this works.
Right.
In Ruby, you have what is it? Modules, I guess. Include keyword, in which you pass the name of the module as a parameter. Anyway, we don't really do that. So anyway.
Right. Oh, all right. Okay, so back to what you were talking about, right? You say you lied.
Yeah. So I spent some time working on this mini tutorial that I said I would present to the interns
Yes.
last week, but I didn't get around to doing it. So anyway, this is the idea. I've cleaned up some stuff, but I've gone through this last week. I'm gonna start with a little quiz, right? What's 0.5 plus 0.5? Is it equal to 1? And it's true. This is true.
False.
0.1 plus 0.2 equals to 0.3. What is this? Kitty.
False.
False. Why? Oh no, my goodness, what? And then we have this number that gives you this other number, which is correct. And then you have this other number, you increment it, and then what? It becomes
The same number.
the same number. What? Like, what's going on?
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about like what is a floating point number. See, I have highlighted the stuff. Emphasis.
Very nice.
So check this out. Oh wow! It's like, oh, if I switch it to bright mode, look at this.
Oh, the color changes as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, it doesn't flash in your face anymore.
Right.
So yeah, that was fun to do. What's the base 2 representation of these numbers? Oh yeah, so I included a section called primer.
Right.
And so basically I'm gonna ask, like, what's the base 2 representation of these numbers? So 1, Chini, what's 1 in base 2?
0, 1. Oh, 1 is just 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1, 0.
Devious.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
What's Devious, what's 4 in base 2?
Wait, let me think.
Uh-huh. 0 maps to 0. What? 1, 2 maps to 1, 0. What do you think 3 is? 3 would be 1, 1. Yeah, okay. And what's 4?
0, 1?
You add 1 to 1, 1. So you get, like, it carries over to the
okay,
next one. So yeah, 1, 0, 0. And Ginny, what's 10 in base 2?
Do I have to do it mentally?
You should know.
Is this something that should be easy?
Okay, fine. It's hang on.
So you think of powers of 2. What are the powers of 2? 1,
4,
2,
8. 1, 2, 4, 8, 8. So
yeah.
it's 1, 0, 1, 0.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, mental sound.
Yeah, mental sounds. What about 0.5?
Oh, I can't
What's
do it.
this? In base 2.
I
So
don't know my
question mark.
Right. Oh, this leads to the floating point representation.
Yeah, but
Right.
so we talk about what are non-integers, right? How do you represent non-integers? So if you were to talk about mathematically, how would you represent a fraction in binary? It's exactly the same way as you would represent decimals, right? So what's the next? What's the number after the point, the decimal point, the 0 point, the binary point?
Can you repeat that? I don't quite understand.
All right, so like in this position, this would be 2 to the power 0, right?
Right.
Like if you go back to this, like at the rightmost position, this is 2 to the power 0. This is 2 to the power 1.
Yeah.
This is 2 to the power 3. This is 2 to the power 4, right? Sorry, 2 to the power 2. This is 2 to the power 3. Right. So there's 8 plus 2, and that gives you 10. So if you go past the 0 point, the binary point, then this becomes this is 2 to the power minus 1, which is 0.5.
Right.
And so, yeah, devious. What's 0.25 in base 2?
Wait. So you said
So after the on the left of the binary point, it increases in powers of 2. So this is 2 to the power 0. The next one will be 2 to the power 1, and, as it goes to the left. But if you go to the right of the binary point, this is 2 to the power of minus 1.
Okay.
After that would be 2 to the power minus 2, 2 to the power minus 3. So it's like 1 over
Okay,
2.
so what I'm
1
not
over...
getting is how do you get. I have to think about this one a little more. I would think 0.10.
Close. But...
0.01.
Yes, exactly. 0.01. Because at the first position after the point, you get 1 over 2. And at the next position after the point, you get 1 over 4. And the next one is 1 over 8.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Chini, what's 0.75?
Oh, come on. Do I have to? What's the fractional value of that? Oh, it's 3/4, right?
Yeah. But you think of adding up the powers of 2, right? So you have 0.5,
Yeah.
you have 0.25.
Yeah.
0.75 is just 0.5 plus 0.25, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
what you get?
0.11.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. What about 0.3? Hey.
Are we heading anywhere with this, John?
I know. So we're gonna get this.
Right.
So it's actually a recurring number, right? So 0.01 followed by 0011 recurring. 0011, 0011, 0011, 0011. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say here is this is a recurring number, similar to how when we represent 1 over 3 in decimal, or how do you represent 1 over 3?
I'm trying to understand how, like, you are showing a series of equations, right? Just showing them, and then how does that all of that previous one lead to this one? Like, are we supposed to? Is it a natural conclusion that it's like it goes on forever? Like, I'm trying to understand. Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, maybe it doesn't link directly to
Right.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If I really wanted to do it, we would have to like do the algorithm for converting from one base to another base.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which will go even longer.
Yeah.
Right.
But I guess the point I want to make is that certain numbers in certain bases cannot be represented within a finite number of digits in another base. For instance, if you were to take 1 divided by 3 in base 3, it would be represented as 0.1, right? Because 1 over 3 to the power minus 1. So in base 3 it would be 0.1. But in base 10, which is our usual counting numbers, our usual system, decimal system, 1 over 3 is represented as Jane.
What?
What's 1 over 3? Yeah, recurring, right?
Yeah.
3 recurring. All the way to infinity. If you were to cut it off at any point, if you were to say like, oh, I only have like 2 decimal places, then you write 0.33, and then that you actually lose quite a bit of information, right? It's not exactly the value as 1 over 3.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to go for over here. Like 0.3 is this infinitely long number in binary.
Right.
So anyway, so how would that work in computers? So one way you can represent non-integers in computers is that it's fixed point representation. You can choose a position for the 0 point. Then you keep it the same everywhere you do your calculations. So if we suppose we have all our numbers are represented with 16-bit values, we can choose to say, I want to have an even number, an even split between the integer portion and the fractional portion.
Right.
So you can say like we can put the binary point, the 0 point, right at the middle. So 0.5 would be 0, 0, 0, 0, 8 zeros followed by a dot, followed by 1, followed by 7 zeros. If you were working with 16-bit values, right?
Right.
Okay. And similarly, like if you had this number, you just take this as the integer portion. What's this number? This is 255, I think. This is the sum of all these, like 1 over 2, 1 over 4, 1 over 8, so on.
Right.
You get this number.
Basically, on either end, we just treat it as if it's its own integer, right?
Yeah. So Yeah. It's this part isn't exactly an integer, but you treat it as the 1/2, 1/4, and so on.
Right.
And so you can represent numbers this way, like fractional numbers this way. So what are the benefits of using fixed point representation or fixed point representation? Addition and subtraction are easy, right?
Yeah.
You can just use the old integer arithmetic. All you do is you add, subtract, and it all works the same way. With multiplication and division, it's a little more complicated, but basically you still perform multiplication the same way. You just have to adjust the number at some point. You have to sort of bring the binary point backwards or forwards.
Right.
Yeah, with but you essentially you still end up in this form. Yeah. And I also want to say something about like how the range is limited. No examples here yet. We'll come up with it too. But anyway, so but the downside is that it has really limited range. Like if you had something like 0.00000010 and you divided it by say 4, you would just end up with 0. Because there's no way for you to represent anything smaller
Beyond
than
that, right.
0.0001.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what can we do? So the idea is we can use a floating point representation. What's the idea? It's like exponential notation. So something like this. In scientific notation, you write like 120.125 as 1.20125 times 10 to the power 2, right?
Right.
Yeah. And so similarly, in the binary form of 120.125, which is like 11100.001, you could convert it into this form. 1.111000001 multiplied by 2 to the power 6.
Right.
So if you shift this point 6 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you get back this original number. Yeah. Yeah. And so, the most common standard for representing floating point numbers in computers is the IEEE 754 format. And so to put like a little short definition of how this format looks like over here.
Right.
Yeah. But essentially, it's like this. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about like some special values. I'm going to talk about like how some numbers are represented in this form. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Something like that.
Wait, sorry. So hang on. Which part again does the shifting of your of the floating point itself, like times 2, times 4, times, you know what I mean? Like just now in the previous slide you had like moving the decimal, not decimal, but rather you're moving the point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
See 2 to the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 6 is stored where in the floating in the floating point representation?
Okay. So like this is just mathematical notation, right?
Yes.
If you were to think about it, this is how you would think about it if you were to talk about floating point representation. Where you put the dot would be given by this exponent over here.
Yes.
Yeah. But so in a floating point number, that exponent would be represented in this this section. So these are the bits of your 32-bit floating point number. And then you have a sign bit where it's positive and negative. Your exponent is represented over here. And then you have the fractional part over here in the orange section, which is called the significand. So something like this, 120.125, you take like this 5 zeros and 1. So it's like 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you'd have to adjust this,
6 here, right?
Yeah. So there's a special thing about the exponent in that actually you have to subtract this number over here. I think it's 127 from this value to get the actual exponent. It's just a thing in the standard because they want to be able to represent both positive and negative
Right, is it
exponents.
like those what two's complement thing?
This is not exactly two's complement. This is just they add a bias. They call it a bias in the exponent.
Right.
And this bias, you're supposed to subtract this number to get your final exponent. So if I were to put this, you get a negative number. If I add this one over here, I'll get a positive number.
That gives them the range between a negative to a positive value.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. Negative to positive exponent. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's this thing about like an implicit one at the front. So you don't have like you always pretend that there's a one in front of your 0 point, the binary point.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it ever stated why that's the case?
It helps you save one bit, I guess.
Right.
If you're gonna keep you because in scientific notation you would always have like an integer, a single digit integer in the front, right?
Right.
So if you're gonna have a non-zero number in the front most of the time, then you might as well just not have it in your representation, right?
Right.
Does that make sense? You save a bit.
Right.
Yeah, unless your exponent bits are all 0, in which case it becomes a 0 in front.
Oh, so it's just, how do I put it? It's just the way it works. Like,
Yeah, it's the way it's defined. This is the way that the IEEE 754 is floating point numbers are defined.
right.
When your exponent is all 0, then you get what is known as a subnormal number, in which your your digit in front of the binary point is 0 instead of 1.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah. Anyway. So there's that. Yeah. And yeah. So there are some special values. You can actually have a negative 0 in this. Clear it up. So you can actually have hey, it's not working. Oh no, I broke it.
Oh no.
Oh no, I broke it. Yeah, you can actually have a negative 0.
Right.
Although like in comparison, like when you do like equality comparisons, it's treated as the same, but technically your hardware has to like identify. Oh no, there's a 1 in front, but it's actually still 0, so you have to compare.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've actually gotten -0 in Game Maker before, and it's messed up some stuff.
Oh really? How?
Yeah.
How?
I don't know exactly
Did
how.
you
I
do
just
a
remember seeing
comparison?
it on the readout when you the draw event when you
Right.
draw the text. It sometimes read out -0, and I was like, "What the hell is -0?"
Right.
Because some of my checks use the sign function to check the sign of a number.
Right.
And sign 0 is supposed to be like 0, I think, or
Yeah.
plus. It was one of those, but I needed either 0 or plus, so it didn't matter. But there were times where it actually gave me a -0, and I had to change some things around.
And now you know why. Now you know why.
Now I know why.
There's like weird stuff going on. So it's because this would be the representation for 0, but with a sign bit, it's either positive or negative, and like you don't really want to define like a new value. Like what does a negative followed by all zeros mean, right? If you define a different number, then your hardware has to, you have to design your hardware slightly differently. So
Right.
we're just gonna treat this the same as 0, but the hardware has to take into account that there are 2 values for 0.
Well,
If
John,
that makes
are you perhaps saying that in like all programming languages that adhere to this standard, right? If
Yeah.
we do say minus 0.f equals 0.f, it returns a true.
Yes.
Right.
The hardware has to return true, right? Well, negative
the
0
standard.
is the same thing as 0, right?
Right.
But now your hardware is like slightly more complicated.
Right. Right.
It's like shit, now we have 2 values.
Code that if you have to handle that in the hardware side.
yeah.
Right. That's cool. But I assume that the rest doesn't work the same way, right? NaN minus NaN, infinity minus infinity.
Oh yeah.
Those are
According to the yeah, IEEE 754's definition, NaN always compares. When you compare it with anything else, it always returns false.
Right.
So if you were to like do like a NaN equals infinity, it will always return false. And even if you compare it with like NaN itself, it will still be false. NaN always compares with false with anything.
What does NaN stand for?
Not the number.
Alright, NaN stands for not a number.
Oh, okay.
Not a number. Yeah.
I
Which
mean,
is a
John,
special value.
what expression can give you a NaN again?
Let's see. Oh wait, no, sorry.
There's infinity, right?
0 over 1?
0 over 0? Right. 0, 0, 0, 0. Like, it's, yeah.
Right, 0 over 0.
Because it's undefined. Like, it's a value that mathematically is undefined, and so that gives you a NaN. Other things that could give you a NaN,
got it. Pass something invalid.
Yeah.
Alright. Hey John, can you get a minus NaN?
Yeah, I think you do it like. No,
How
I
about
can't.
minus 0
no.
divide minus 0?
X equals 0 over 0. Okay, X. No, wait. What?
But
How do
minus
you?
will cancel. Yeah, how do you get minus NaN, John?
Oh my goodness! How do you? Infinity over 0. No.
It's still infinity.
What about 0 over infinity?
All right. Okay.
Or negative infinity over 0. No, wait, no. I mean, negative 0 over infinity.
we're just showing random stuff.
Yeah, just showing random things.
Oh, yeah, negative. Oh my god, that's.
Yeah. No, well, apparently this doesn't work.
Shin Spielger has a suggestion. Oh, Maxim is here. Hello, Maxim. Shin Spielger said, what about a square bracket plus empty string? Is there such a thing?
That gives you like an empty string.
Right.
Which I think is different if you get it. Okay, all right. Like,
I think maybe this, whatever you're using, has a self-check to never give a negative NaN.
Maybe. Yeah, I actually have no idea if it's
If you
even
just put
possible.
that negative NaN, you would think it'd say negative NaN as a return.
Yeah. Yeah.
That square bracket is array, is it? Empty
Yes.
array? Right.
Yeah.
What happens if you tag? So I'm asking based on what Shin Spielger says, right? Like, what happens if you tag a not operator in front of an empty array? Does it equate
It
to
turns it into a boolean.
Turns it into a boolean. Oh.
Yeah.
What? I can't make sense of it. So.
For that, I will refer you to JavaScript.
What? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing?
Why is that a thing? JavaScript is what? JavaScript is just what?
That's right. I think you sent me this presentation before.
JavaScript is just what?
What moments in programming?
Yeah, just what moments in JavaScript? It's just what?
Right.
So this is considered truthy, right? So negative this is false, but this is considered falsy. So
What the
true.
what the frick is falsy?
Falsy meaning like it evaluates to false if you put it in an if whatever, right?
Oh.
If you put something like this, right? This evaluates to a faulty value.
Right.
But this evaluates to a truthy value. So if you do like this,
Oh, the
get,
video is bugging out a little bit.
Yeah.
What's the last line?
Like
Maybe if you press enter,
Must
it
be-
will go. Oh, there you go.
writing something lewd.
Oh
Blurring it
yeah.
out.
Wait,
This is totally. Oh no! Suddenly Chinny's gonna get censored.
wait. If you put an empty array into an if statement, it's what? It evaluates to true or false?
Truthy. So like
Why would
okay,
an
let's do it
empty
this way.
why would an empty string be falsy and an empty array be truthsy?
Log. Hang on. Log. Truthy.
Right. Truthy, right? Falsy through
false.
truthy.
Falsy.
my God.
Falsy.
Is that
Falsy?
alright?
This is truthy. What was
Empty array
this?
is truthy.
This is falsy.
What?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah.
What?
What's the rationale behind
What about this?
empty
Truthy.
array evaluating the truth? Right. Undefined.
Because it's not null.
Because it's
It's
not
not
now.
null.
Oh, okay,
Except-
okay. Because
yeah.
it's not now, right?
Yeah, so if you like to put null here, this is pretty faulty.
Right.
But what I did not expect is like, a string is not.
But there's a now terminating character at the end, right? Is that why?
It's, no, wait, no. But so if there was, so in C,
Uh-huh.
a character like this is. Oh wait, no, it's also faulty, I guess. Oh my goodness, I'm so confused right now. But anyway, so you have stuff like so 0 is definitely faulty, right? You when you do any calculations in C,
Yes.
yeah, if you put an x, it goes 0. If your x is 0, and then you put if x, whatever,
Yeah.
it'll be faulty. Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
Yeah.
Maxime says what? Ask from I got answer from ChatGPT. An empty array is considered truthy because it is a non-empty object. So because it's an object, it's not null, so it's truthy, right? Like what you see. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. I get it now.
But it is in a sense it's empty, right?
Yeah. Right. I mean,
Oh, okay.
if we just treat everything that is non-null as true, then yeah, I suppose that makes a lot of sense, right? I mean,
Yeah.
C works that way, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting derailed. But anyway, yeah. So yeah. Today we found out that you can have NaN values that like. Wait, why is it still NaN? Dang it.
It's not working out. Something is wrong.
Oh, is NaN always non? Oh, maybe I have to
So
remove
there's
this.
no minus NaN then.
Maybe there's no minus NaN. Oh, well.
Damn. Then we tried to get it spent all that time to get it for no reason.
Yeah, oh well. I learned something. Okay.
That's cool. How was the revision, John? Do you enjoy it?
It was okay. Yeah.
Right.
Spend more time building this stupid thing here than actually revising.
Right. I have actually forgotten even the mathematical meaning of the word exponent. It's just the power that's exponent. It's called exponent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The power.
Right.
Are you able to see like the little 2 over here? That this is base 2 to the power.
Oh, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have seen it. But yes, I see it now. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it changes, so like it wasn't really showing anything before.
No. Well, previously I didn't really show the values here, I guess. I'm not sure if I showed it last week.
I remember.
No, oh.
I remember there
Anyway.
being like a pop-up. I don't remember exactly what was in it last time.
It probably was just the text, like the description above. This is the exponent, this is significant, this is the sign. That was probably all I showed.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, then I wanted to have a couple more slides here. But the key takeaway is floats have finite position. Numbers with recurring binary representation. You can't store them losslessly. Because we have a finite number of bits, you have to stop somewhere, and then that gives you that gives you the inaccuracies of floating point or fixed point representations.
Right.
Right. Yeah, because practically you can never store an infinite number of digits. And so when performing calculations, I recommend using integer arithmetic if possible, especially if you're working with money. It's like if the smallest unit you have to deal with is 1 cent, then just work in cents instead of dollars, $0.01, because 0.01 can't be represented exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Can be represented exactly in binary form, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I broke. Oh, I didn't break it. Okay, it works.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I broke it. But yeah, anyway, this is what you would see in. If you were
this is supposed to be 0.01, but you get this
Yeah.
instead, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you get this instead, right?
Okay.
So it's not exact. So if you're dealing with money, this becomes, this is how people go to jail.
If you repeatedly accumulate 0.01, the error is going to grow, right?
Yeah.
right?
And like at some point, if you had the for loop that loops the addition of 0.01, at some point that at some
Error will be
point,
so big.
yeah, you never you still end up with the same number, similar to how at the start we had like that thing. Where is it? Where is it? Oh
So
no,
we at the front?
way at the front. Yeah, like this, right?
Yeah,
You have this number and then you add one and it's still the same number.
right.
So similar thing with even if you were to add like 0.01 or even a bigger number, at some point that number is not going to contribute to the
The overall
to
value.
the sum.
Right, yeah.
So that in like if you were to work with a mathematical library, a library designed for scientific computations, you realize that they actually have special algorithms they use to sum arrays of numbers. That you can use the naive algorithm to sum numbers,
Right.
especially if you have a dynamic range, a big range of numbers. Like if it can go as small as 0.0001, can go as large as 1 million, 10 million, then you'd have to do something special in your summing algorithm.
Right.
So anyway, final point, don't expect inequality to always work. You have to compare with some leeway. And this epsilon, this leeway, it actually has to vary depending on how close you expect the numbers to be.
Right. I think wasn't that this I think you shared this article way back saying that a good practice is to scale the epsilon according to how big your the numbers in the expression is, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So if you have really big numbers, x and expected really big numbers, you might actually have to use even if they're close, you might have to use like a really big number, like 1,000. If you're comparing, like a quadrillion with 0.9999 quadrillion, you might need like your this epsilon has to be
Bigger.
maybe a million
Right.
just for you to
Right.
because you don't have enough precision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This is great stuff, John. It's great
It
stuff.
seems useful.
It's great
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that, and I'm gonna finish this week for sure. For certain.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, last
For
week.
reals.
Whatever.
Well,
Exact
this
words you said last week.
Exactly. He said the same
think
thing
even in
for
the same
3
tone.
weeks straight. Yeah.
Yeah, same tone too.
Yeah.
Don't discriminate against slower people.
Right.
I'm just slow. But anyway, I hope you have all learned a little something from my little presentation.
Right.
I did learn a little more.
Now you know lesson 0 and
I learned that my computer science teacher will be so disappointed in me for forgetting this.
No, you
I
don't.
remember reviewing the base stuff, but yeah, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Because
Well, you don't.
we do have to, like in school, we do have to derive this. Like we were given a number, we say, hey, can you write the binary representation? So there's a point in time where I know how to do this, but now I've forgotten everything.
Well, that's what the computer is for.
Yeah, that's for you.
Yeah, no, I think the important point is just to understand, like, when you see something weird happening, at least you know why it's happening.
Yeah. Know all of the pitfalls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you compare, when you compare like 0.0 equals to 0. When you compare like 0.1 plus 0.2 and you compare it directly equals to 0.3, like why is it wrong? Why doesn't it give the value that you expect? At least you know why. Yeah.
Right. I appreciate the point about like how in different bases you can't exactly like a value in one base, you may not be able to represent it with a finite amount of what do you call that? I can't call it decimal point.
Digits.
What do I call it?
Digits
The
then.
number of digits, yeah, with a finite number of digits, yeah. So I appreciate that point. That's great. That's great. Hang on. Zai said, hello Za. Za called me puppy. Oh, I don't know how to feel about that. Hello Za. I don't where that come from. Anyway, Shin says, I may be wrong, a long time without looking at the topic, but Java had a specific library for mathematics on finance, and that didn't use the normal number, but this comes with a price every Every number was 128-bit.
Maybe. Well, there are a number of libraries for doing this. Java decimal library, I think. Well, there are a few. Oh, there's this thing called Big Decimal.
Yes.
And so it's like an arbitrary precision decimal format. So it says here, immutable arbitrary precision decimal signed decimal numbers. So this is useful for doing like currency based numbers. So this one can represent like your decimal numbers exactly.
Yeah.
In JavaScript, there's like a library called decimal.js, I think. And it's similar in concept. The annoying thing is that, I guess nan is just nan. There's no negative.
There is a
sign.
decimal in C# as well.
Yes, I think C#. So any like professional established language, I think, especially something that they intend for use in the finance industry or basically dealing with currency and money, they will have a type or some libraries to deal with these kind of problems.
Right. Do you think internally it's like they're going to be using integers in some form?
Yeah, you probably have some integers in some form, and it probably takes up a bunch of memory. So like Zaz's, I guess, decimal in C# takes 16 bytes.
Right.
You can have up to 28, 29 digits.
16 bytes, right.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. That's twice double.
Yeah.
It's a hungry thing.
But the way they store it, I don't think it's an IEEE 754 format. It might be something different.
Right. Yeah.
And then there are libraries that do arbitrary like big ints in JavaScript that do arbitrary sized integers.
Right.
So you can have a number that's this big, that's like way beyond your or this big or something. I don't know.
Right.
Something really big.
I guess it's safe to say that in almost all games, I can't say all. In almost all games, you don't really need anywhere this level of precision, yeah?
Yeah, unless you're doing like some kind of open worlds, like No Man's Sky, something like that, maybe.
Right. The numbers get really big. But even then, like, do you really need to have everything in like exact word, so-called quote-unquote word space? Can't you just negate the value somehow? Right.
Yeah, probably not. I think you divide your space up into multiple. Divide your space up into multiple chunks, and then zones and chunks and stuff like that, and then you scale your numbers to those zones or chunks.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, and one I guess this talk would be useful for people who want to build like really big worlds, and then you definitely encounter problems like this where you keep adding to the number, and then suddenly things start breaking. Like you travel really far into your world. If you were to not break your world up into chunks, you travel really far, and then suddenly you're teleporting across the land.
I remember now. Didn't you have an article way back? I think like we were in a group chat with Jeremy. Like you brought an article, right, where after a while the character, if they go far enough from the origin, the movement seems to you start teleporting, right? Yeah. There's an article, right? Maybe we can find that someday.
Yeah. Somewhere I gotta go dig it up.
Alright, thanks, John. That's great. That's great.
So applicable. I found
applicable to games. Yes.
So Devious, now if you make a world too big and you travel too far, you're gonna teleport or not move at all.
Has a maximum distance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's probably because of this exact reason.
Strange Dew, Strange Dew. Strange Dew asks, isn't this for rocket science?
I guess it could be, huh?
It
could
be. Yeah.
Although no, that's probably why they split in the quadrants.
Yeah. But I can imagine like you send a probe out to some asteroid and it's millions of miles away from Earth, and then it starts like sending weird numbers back. I think there was an actual glitch in some satellite or something that or some probe.
Oh, this is a problem in the airlines
Uh-huh.
because there was a certain maximum of characters that they can use for the years. I think it was, and once it hits a certain year, everything's going to shut down. And I think this is part of what fed the Y2K thing. But but this is an actual thing that they have to think of because what was it? I think it was the airport names. They only have like a certain number of characters. No, it was a year. It was a year.
Right.
Once it reaches a certain year, they hit the maximum number that they had programmed for it to allow. Then it resets once it hits that year. So they gotta prepare all the airports. I don't know if they've already done it or if they're planning on doing it. But they need to reset or redo something to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, I read an article on it and I was thinking like, wow, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I guess when we write software, we have to make sure it's always scalable.
Yeah.
I wonder if an aircraft launch, like a rocket launch, has ever been ruined by floating point precision.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, wasn't there like
There was?
well, maybe not aircraft, but X-ray floating point incident.
Holy crap.
Was it an X-ray? Basically, that was a radiation machine. Radiation therapy device malfunctioned. Well, there was at least, according to this, Toyota had a recall. When was this? 2005. Toyota had a recall. Not
even that long ago.
Yeah. Vehicle lights illuminating for no reason. Gasoline engine stalling unexpectedly. It was like programming error. But then, relay number 70 of Harvard Mark II system in 1945. Computer running a test of its multiplier and adder. This is not the main issue. The Theric 25.
Okay.
So it actually killed some people.
Goodness.
Yeah. So let's check this. History is worth talking about.
Is it a floating point? Oh, damn. Is it a floating point thing?
Let's see. Massive overdoses of radiation because of concurrent programming errors.
Race conditions. Oh my god.
Shucks. Sorry.
That's a threading issue.
Yeah. Patients were given radiation doses that were hundreds of times greater than normal, resulting in death or serious injury. Yeah.
This is
not exactly real floating point numbers, but
material, man. Yeah, but it is a software problem. That's scary. Yeah.
This is why I don't want to work in software with
you're afraid you kill someone?
Yeah. I am very careless with my code.
Really? I don't know. I mean, in Space Jam, your code is usually the most stable.
Wouldn't say that. Like I was telling you, I was boasting to you that my code is the one with the smallest bugs, right? Lowest number of bugs, and then we hit like a day one bug.
Oh right, the Mac build has an error, right? I remember. Yeah. But you resolved it on that day itself, so that's still good. Yeah, it's awesome.
That was sad.
Hang on, Strange Deal says, I think there was a Minecraft video talking about this. If you walk far enough in the world, the procedural generation messes up because of this. So yeah, like it's basically the precision issue, right, in floating points. Like suppose there was an issue on Outer Wilds. I'm not sure if you all heard of Outer Wilds, which is I think an indie game space travel thingy. Because the center of the map was in the sun, some areas were being affected by the imprecision of floating points. What they did, the player is the center of the world. So they basically make the player the center of the world to avoid precision issues. I think that's ingenious, isn't it?
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I guess, but in the end, you still have to. How do you convert it to?
From one space to another.
Yeah. You still deal with like really huge numbers.
Right.
So I guess you still have to find like some smart way of converting it to low number. But yeah, at least in your perimeter, in your
It
world,
seems
at
to
least,
work at least in your vicinity.
yeah, in your vicinity, everything's still fine.
Yeah. So you know that sprite stack game I was making, the horror one.
Uh-huh.
It had a way to keep from doing that, which sounds just like making the player the world, because all the code was in the player, and basically would move. It's very easy to explain. I just can't explain it right now.
Right, but like you're saying that your objects are placed relative to the player. Is that it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And like you put a boundary so the player can't go out of that boundary. But if you go through a door, it's like when the rooms reset in the actual game maker. Like you go to a new room.
Yeah.
That's basically what they did. That's what you do. Or there was another way I had it to where if you were outside in the truck and you were driving around, what I did was when you pass a certain boundary, then it resets the position of the player.
Right.
And then it resets the position of everything else to match with the player. Anything outside of that particular zone just gets wiped or forgotten or whatever.
Yeah.
And then,
that makes sense.
As long as it's fixed. If it's something like an item or something, that thing's basically gone at that point. But it was like a big space.
Yeah, it's fine. You know,
Like,
even Zelda, like, does that, right? If you go far enough, your item on the floor is gone.
Yeah.
You don't even need to go that far, right? My vehicle that I just spawned, I disappeared after I exited my cave. So it's like,
yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, that was a good one, John.
Yeah. Thanks.
Is it
I
my
hope
turn?
you all learned something.
Yeah, thanks, John. I appreciate that. It's a fantastic revision as well.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah. Yeah, it's your turn, Chinny.
Okay, I'll do it.
Oh, that took an hour?
Yeah, that took an hour.
Now I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
No, it's fine, John. Very rarely do we have a long presentation from you. Let's see. Hang on.
I gotta really go to the restroom.
Okay, it's my turn.
Too much soda.
Mine will be short. So, first thing first, I don't have much to show for the first part, but I did do. Oops, I did.
Spoiler.
No, I got the version 1.9.0 ready. I sent it for beta testing. I have yet to publish the beta test, but I will do it today after this presentation. But before I actually send the beta test for approval, right? I did the thing, you know, that thing I mentioned last week about the Android leaderboards. So I created a separate leaderboard without the score limit, and now, right, every time an Android player is playing the game, the score is sent to both leaderboards. And the idea is to have the new leaderboard, the one without the score limit, be collecting the score, and at some point, right, if someone did actually manage to break the 1000 mark, I will switch to the new leaderboard. But the thing is, I cannot just do that and then publish it without testing. And so the troublesome part is that I actually do need to use a completely separate version of the Android version of Saw Blades, and then I have to create like 2 completely new leaderboards and then just test the leaderboard stuff on that particular version of the app before I switch over to the main production version of the app. So yeah, it's just a lot of tedium and some testing, but I think it's safe to say that I got it correct, and I will be doing the testing very, very soon. So that is what I have to say for Saw Blades. For the other new prototype, I don't have much to show. I have not integrated the new enemy into the game, but I do have like
It's
new
a very
animation.
jumpy character.
It's a very yeah. Let me explain. Sorry. So I mean, last week I showed this, right? And this is supposed to be a stun animation. So I just wanted like a very jerky animation when you get hit. So
Too much coffee. Too much coffee.
Yeah, too much coffee. Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah, yeah. When it got shot, that's right. It's not supposed to loop. So when it's looping, it looks
Oh no, I meant shock. Like
shot.
zapped.
The what?
I would say
Zap.
stunned.
Stun. Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
stun.
Stun.
Electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I guess it does look like that. Yeah, but it's supposed to play it once for when for each time you hit the enemy with a bullet. And then there is
He's
a
paralyzed.
yeah, it looks like it's paralyzed, that's right. This one is charging, so the idea is you go from walk and then after you get hit, right, you start charging at the player. And hopefully I can actually integrate it into the game soon. Okay, now last thing. The last thing is sprite stack lighting. I was in class and then I thought like I mentioned, right, someone asked me about lighting in Game Maker, which led me to dig up some of my really old lighting experiments in Project Dungeon, which I have since scrapped. But I it also reminded me that I had always wanted to try some form of 3D lighting in a sprite stack setting, and so as an experiment I did something like this. It's not perfect, but you can see that there is some
Ooh.
3D-ness to it, three-dimensional lighting, and I can prove that it's just all 2D. Right, it's not like that. So it's quite fun to do it, but you can see that it's not perfect because like I don't know what to do about the corners. You can see that the corners is, how do I put it? Like if you look at the corners of the cube, right? Sometimes it looks like it's lighting up when it shouldn't, right? And that's because it has a different normal, which brings me to this. So this is just a white cube, right? So every single frame is just a white box. But here you can see this is what the normals look like. DVS, are you familiar with what a normal is?
No, I haven't looked it up yet.
Right, no worries. I'll use this chance to very briefly talk about it. Like for
Wait,
example,
what is this? Why does your paint look so different?
oh, that?
Windows 11.
Oh, wait, are you on oh, is that what it is? You're on Windows 11?
Yeah, I'm on Windows 11. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shin asks, is this 3D simulation on a 2D environment? In a sense, yes. I am trying to do 3D lighting in a 2D in a 2D setting. That's right. So which means that every pixel has a 3D position tied to it. But for that, I think that one is not too difficult, right? Because like for each frame, we can just say that, hey, on the vertical axis you increment by 1, right? So we can get we can fake the 3D position in there fairly nicely. The issue here is with the normal map, right? So I did some assumption with the way the sprite works. So we have here like what is completely 2D, right? And I have to, when drawing it in the shader, I have to tell the program like what that particular pixel, where that particular pixel is supposed to be facing. So basically I'm saying that, like perhaps for this particular pixel, since it is on the bottom edge, I will say that, hey, the vector here, the normal, right? Normal is basically a vector that is perpendicular to the surface of this pixel. So I'll say that, hang on, so this is X, this is Y, and then like vertical axis, I use Z for vertical axis. So here I'm saying that it's actually 0, this is 1, and then this is 0, right? And for this one it's 0, minus 1, 0, because it's pointing upwards, and so on and so forth, right? And using this information, this information, right, can then be encoded into a separate texture. So for example, the idea is I want to bring this into a range that is 0 to 1 first, and then followed by 0 to 255, right? So I can actually save it inside a texture. So how do I encode the range from -1 to 1 to 0 to 1? So the idea is this, right? Like if the range is -1 to 1, if I do a arms half plus half, I will bring it to 0 to 1, and then I can multiply 255, and then from there, right, I'll get the range I want, which is the 0 to 255, which is exactly the color range. So from there, I did my calculations, right? So for each of the normal vectors I have, I compute the color I need, and I just colored it here, right? Then the challenge now is this. For the corners, right? Depending on the orientation of the cube, sometimes that pixel, right, is supposed to represent the surface at the front. Other times it's supposed to represent the surface maybe closer to the back. Right? It's a little bit hard to explain, but the idea is that in an ideal scenario, where's my tablet? In an ideal scenario, right, this pixel will have two normals, right? And then then I can calculate the lighting accordingly, I suppose, depending on I guess its orientation.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, John.
I mean, wouldn't a face? The pixel is on a face of the cube, right?
Yeah.
If it's on the face of the cube, then it just has one normal.
But it's not on. Is it? How do I put it? Is it on the face of a cube? But this pixel, because this is sprite stack, right? It's not like this is a sprite stack. This pixel is on two faces, isn't it? It represents two faces.
Why would it represent two faces?
Can I perhaps show? Hang on, I mean, can I? If you just give me one moment, if I color it differently, would it make it obvious?
While you're doing that, I'm gonna use the restroom.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. This is me trying to color it with worst space normal.
Yeah, why would it have a different normal? Shouldn't it like you Okay, but how does the sprite stacking work?
It works by, hang on, can I pause it? Actually, yeah, let me think. How do I explain this part? I suppose if we were to, hang on. I can't think, John. Oh, Shin asked, right? Why not make a real 3D pipeline rendering? Actually, that is that would be the best solution. But the purpose of doing it this way, right, is just because it's fun.
Why do it in 5 minutes when you can do it in 5 hours?
5 hours, yeah, that's right. Yeah, let me think, Yeah, it's
why
the
make life easier? Yeah, why make life easier when you can make life more difficult?
That's right. Okay, John. Okay, yeah. John. I can't give you like the like best technical explanation because I haven't fully thought through this. But say for instance, right?
Because this is a layer of your sprite stack. I see.
Yeah, and it's not just that, right? Like for example, if you say, hey, it's supposed to be tied to a face, right? Then which face does this pixel belong to? Right. That's a problem, right?
I get it. Because this, you're looking at this top down, right? This is the
in a sense, view. Yeah, kind of like top down, kind of maybe slightly angled from the top. Yeah,
I get it.
Right. So I actually tried this, right? I actually tried giving this particular pixel. I try to give the ownership of the pixel to one face, and I do it in a like clockwise fashion. Basically, this one belongs to red. This one belongs to light green, this one belongs to dark green, this one belongs to purple, right? and it still doesn't really look right.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work. Like the edge is still broken.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to do, so I thought like, you know, a diagonal normal, right, is a compromise, but because the surface is still drastically different, the lighting itself, right, will still feel weird, because like for a brief moment, that particular edge, will appear to be super bright, and I don't really want it to be that way. So what I need to do, right, is to somehow mark the corners, right, and then depending on I suppose the angle, depending on the orientation of the cube, I have to choose a particular normal. Yeah, and I don't know what are the factors I have to take into consideration, right, of which normal to choose. Maybe whether it's facing the camera or not, right? Yeah. So there's few things like that. Okay, so this is what I have. Oh wait, no, this is the worst space. You can see, right, the color changes because it's the worst space normal. Freak, where's my code? Where's my code? This one. Yeah, and there we have it. So I don't know. Maybe in the future I might want to have a game with this particular aesthetic, John.
Yeah,
but I need to fix that edge first. Yeah, it's very distracting, right? If the light is at the bottom, right, it's actually not as obvious. Do you notice? Alright, but
well, it still appears slightly brighter.
Yeah, but that's because the normal is different. But the problem comes where
like it's behind.
Yeah, if it's behind, then it looks like it's super bright for no reason. Yeah, because from our view, right, the pixel is supposed to be obscured.
Yeah.
Right, it's supposed to be belonging to the front-facing face, right? But it's being lit up as if it's the face at the back, right? So then that's the problem. I guess that's the explanation. Yeah. Okay, so
It technically makes sense, actually. Because that's how light actually works. It does bend around corners a little.
Right, but no, but
it doesn't look.
Yeah, but it shouldn't look this way. The issue is with you know, sometimes based on its orientation, right, that particular pixel is supposed to represent like the face at the front, but I'm lighting it as if it's the face at the back, and since the light is at the back, it will just light up, right? Yeah.
How do you calculate the sorry?
Sorry. Yes. Questions. Yes.
Oh yeah, how did you calculate the diagonal normal at the corner? Did you not normalize?
I normalized
the vector?
I normalized it. I wrote something in Python, and then I basically I do this, right, like 110, right, and then I normalize it, and then I apply the same thing here.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I use that. So yeah, and then once that is done, right, you can see that sorry, yes?
You would imagine that a normalized vector would give you like a slightly like when you normalize and then you kind of interpolate. Well, I guess there's no interpolation.
There's no interpolation.
If you interpolate the vectors, you kind of get like a softer edge rather
interpolate
than
from what to what?
Like you take neighboring pixel normals.
Oh, you mean like this and this?
Yeah. When you interpolate, then you kind of get like a smoother surface rather than like a hard edge. But now it's appearing brighter for some reason rather than.
Right. I mean, okay. So, if the light is here, right, like where my cursor is, and then this is obviously pointing downwards. That means there's no light, right? Which means that it's supposed to be at the darkest possible value.
Right.
At a certain orientation, this will receive the full light, but because of sprite stacking, right, it's all obscure.
I see.
Right? And then this will receive partial light because it's angled, right? So it's full lighting, angled lighting, and no light. And because of the sprite stacking, this fully lit up area is obscured. And then for some reason, this edge, is getting littered up, despite the
right.
fact that it looks like it belongs to this particular face.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So then that's the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's quite fun. There is like some. I have to do a little bit of like revision of my the the 3-dimensional rotational matrix. The good thing is that because I'm not I'm not shifting the camera vertically. All I need to do. Wait, actually, does the shifting of camera even matter? No, sorry, because I'm not rotating the object in any other form other than about the vertical axis, right? All I need to do to get the normals in world space is just to do a simple calculation, right? Which is just a sine and cosine and stuff like that. So a little bit of revision of the 3D rotational matrix, and that's it. That's it. This is just an experiment. Maybe one day I'll look into it, but my main goal, right, is still saw blades and my new shooting game prototype. That's it for me. Let me just stop sharing.
What if you just remove the corners?
But then what happens? Like the pixel still has to be littered up somehow. So then what color do I choose?
Make it black.
Just get rid of it.
Make it black. You know what? You know what? Hang on. You know what? Let me try.
Yeah.
Where is? Let me share my screen again.
Because if there's a certain point where get rid of all of them except for the top one.
Get rid of all of them. Just get rid of all.
Get rid of all of them.
You don't need no corners.
Okay. Alright, give me a moment. I'll be reading the chat in a bit. I don't understand what you mean. Get rid of the corners. Like
Make
how?
them all black.
Yeah, let's just get rid of them. Just
Just paint it black. Just paint it black.
no, just
leave
erase
them.
it and just erase it.
Just just erase it. Okay.
Wow.
John was saying make it black. Is it?
Yeah, I'd say make it black. But,
But
if
wait,
you-
making it black. Yeah, because this is a normal map, right? So I should make it black. Black means 0, 0, 0, right?
Yeah.
0, 0. No, sorry, no. Black is not. Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, that should be dark all the time.
0,
isn't
0,
it?
0
Oh,
map
corners
to the
black.
new color space should be different. It should be 127, 127, 127.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So much trouble. Okay, 127, 127, 127. Yeah, because the normal
It
map.
has to be 0, 0, 0.
Yeah, there has to be a color tied to it because it's not the actual sprite.
So exactly. So this is like kind of like the bias in the what do you call it? In the floating point.
Yeah.
experiment.
So it's actually the same concept, right?
Yes.
Yes. Fantastic.
Just use the highlight and just select each corner and just use the fill-in bar. It's much quicker.
How do I do it? I'm sorry.
okay, so go to the square with the dots.
Huh?
Yeah. And then go to each corner and hold down Alt.
Okay. Alt.
Control, sorry.
Control.
Control. Hold down Control.
Got it. Okay.
And now go to the fill tool
Few. This one?
and just click on one.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Yeah, and just press 2 to go to each next frame.
Yo.
And you can use
What
1 and
I
2
do,
to go to each frame, and 3 plays them all. So avoid 3.
Right.
It's,
Chini, what a noob, Chini.
I don't use Game Maker Sprite Editor.
it's so useful.
You can see, right? It's weird in other ways.
Slightly weird, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's better than lighting it up.
Yeah,
It
see,
looks like-
doesn't-
Really? But now
No,
there's
different.
the corner is all black now.
Yeah, there's like a black one.
Yeah.
It's cool, right? It's like,
It's
oh,
cool.
wow,
It's
there's
like an
an
outline.
on the thing.
It's like an outline. But it only works because
wow.
it's a cube, right? What if it's something else, John?
Oh, that sucks for you.
Wait, so what happens if you do just erase it? And
If I do just erase it. Okay, let me try.
yeah,
Undo
it's
everything
just
and
gonna
then...
bring up an error like there's no.
Oh yeah.
thing.
Sorry. Let me just do this again. Wait, I have to undo everything first. Otherwise, I couldn't
No,
get it back.
so erasing it
No,
will
if you're gonna
change.
erase it, just
Sorry. Oh no, I couldn't get it back anymore. Hang on, sorry. Just one moment.
So what I think is erasing it just sets the...
Well,
actually I don't know.
Just-
Erasing it might set the alpha to...
to 0. But I'm not
0,
using it. So
Yeah. but
oh,
the color
that's
might
right.
still be
That
there.
means everything is facing left now, right? Or facing a particular. Hang on.
Direction. Yeah.
Facing the wrong direction, basically.
It depends on what the erase tool like colors the pixels as
It makes it transparent.
If I remember,
yeah, but
erase
what's
tool
the
either
RGB
replaces it with black,
component?
or it replaces it with, or it just makes the alpha
Or-
0.
Yeah, if it just makes the alpha 0 but retains the original color, then it would just be the original color.
Oh,
But if it sets it to black, then you just get back what
You're
we
right,
just
you're
did,
right.
but with the alpha as 0.
okay, I'll do that. Just a moment, huh? It's control, right? Control. Press 2 to go to next frame, you see? Oh no, it's gone. Why
Wait,
did the...
did you press delete? Yeah, when you delete it, it gets rid of all the selection.
Oh,
If you want to erase while you have stuff highlighted, just use the erase tool. You
Just
just go
use
over
the
it real
erase.
quick. It'll erase anything it goes over.
okay. Erase 2 is this one, right?
And, yeah,
So
and
I have
click
to
like
do
one of the big
this.
ones if you want to do it. Yeah.
You mean like this?
Yeah. You can do it like that, or you can click one of the bigger shapes on the side so it gets everything. And then just a quick little-
like this.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, just erase. And it basically erases it.
Wow, what a pro. Okay.
What a pro.
Yeah. You know all of the shortcuts. Okay.
It actually kind of works. Except for that bottom dot. Oh, you know what it probably is? Take your eraser. This is a really weird thing. Go to the regular selection tool. Get rid of that big circle that you.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. That should fix the little dot.
That should fix
Because
it.
because you hovering over the image actually affects the image.
What?
Yeah. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes when you hover over an image, it actually affects the whole image.
Oh.
Which is weird. Now it's.
Yeah, but the thing is, if I just erase the corner, it's expected that there will be graphical glitches, because the normal is not correct anymore.
Yeah.
Why is it's only the bottom one that's doing it though?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Why is it the bottom? But it's
It's cute,
all
though.
it's empty though.
It's cute though. It looks like it has little eyes on the bottom.
Little glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Maxime asks, I don't know if this is a horrible solution or not, but couldn't you calculate which side a pixel is facing? Yes, that is the solution that I will be trying going forward. I just need to work out what the math is, right? Like, I suppose I can, if I have the camera position and I can use a dot product to determine whether it's facing far away enough from the camera. I suppose I can do that. Yeah, but anyways, I don't know why it's only the bottom. Yeah, why is it only the bottom? That's weird. Is it a game maker bar? It could be.
Try putting one extra
Let me just erase the.
thing.
Where's my eraser? I can. Oh freak! What?
Yeah, you're selecting the wrong. Yeah.
If I do this again. Yeah, no, it's still.
That's weird.
I think it's probably the position of my light. Yeah. It's alright, it's alright. I guess that's it for me. It's your turn, Devious.
Alright.
Alright.
Alright. Check on water. Alright, so this is a bit of a different thing that I'm doing this time.
Is it a new game?
Yeah, it's a new game.
Oh my god. Oh my god. John, do you hear that?
It's a new game.
It's a new
Yay.
game. Oh my god.
Oh, it just says a quick
Welcome to
one.
the Nobody Finishes the Thing Club.
Basically. Right. This is Tabletop Simulator. this
Oh
time.
wow.
Oh.
Alright.
It's a tabletop game this time.
Wait,
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
tabletop.
Can I stop you for a moment? There's a
No.
question. There's a question from Strange Dew. He asked, did Devious finish that turn-based RPG yet? Which one?
No. Yeah, just say no. There's only one game I finished. It's not a turn-based RPG.
Right.
The one he's probably talking about. Is, wait a minute, do I
Draggy
have-
one, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's
No?
not. That is turn-based, but it's not. When someone says turn-based RPG, you think like tactics.
Right.
I don't remember having a tactics, unless he's talking about like the first game I ever made. But that's like, there's no way.
Right, Strange Dew, are you talking about the Pokemon-like game? Or he said he's actually interested in it, but we don't know which one. Oh yeah, he's talking about Dragimon. Dragi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball.
yeah.
Or Pendragon.
Well, you know someone in the chat will buy that game once you're done with that.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
It'll be a while.
It'll be a while.
Nah,
Yes.
you're good. Okay. So, man, I don't even know where to start with this one. I was just not reading the rules before this. Okay, so I was gonna start with what the game is based off of. So the game is based off of some of my older games, like that first game that I just mentioned, which was the chess-like game. But I simplified a bunch of stuff, like the movement, so it doesn't take a whole bunch of time to move things. Maybe, I don't know, it depends. Bit of also different rule change thing. It's also inspired by RTSs, like in particular StarCraft. So basically, was I watched a bunch of StarCraft stuff. Or I have been for a while, just because I like StarCraft. I haven't played it in forever, but I love watching it.
Right.
Anyways, so what I started doing was I started watching it more and more, and like shrinking the best moments of the game. So like there's the time that you're building and stuff, and then there's just the dead space, which is just people moving things and doing everything, but which is important because you gotta position certain units and buildings and whatnot. And so I basically was watching those, and I was thinking like, how could I shrink it to just those kinds of moments where you can just like. It might have worked, it might not have. I don't know. Whatever. I haven't tested this. So, anyways, yeah, I try to shrink it into those good moments and the more important moments, the most important things of RTSs, but turn it into like a turn-based game. And there is a StarCraft board game, and I watched some of that, but it's really convoluted and kind of confusing, and it doesn't even follow like some rules with RTS games. But I wanted to have the RTS spirit of positioning and certain things in my game right here.
Right.
So very rudimentary right now. The art's not super great, but whatever. Because I was going to make this in Game Maker, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to... There's too much to program, too much stuff I don't know, so I'm just going to put it into Tabletop Simulator, and that's why everything's pixel art right now.
How much faster is it to do it in here?
Oh man, so much faster. It's literally just... Because you get all these like little tools to like position things. That's why everything looks all like perfectly placed, because I have a grid that I can snap things to. And I just gotta move the board around to like get the grid in the right spot and all that. And then you can do all this other stuff. You get little tools too, like these big old colored boxes. You can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm not.
Only when you highlight stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought okay. Yeah, it does change my mouse with a little hand, but I didn't know if I... Okay, well, anyways. So, what am I? Yeah. What was I saying? Where was I? Yeah, the color boxes. Okay. So another tool is the color boxes where you can like hide things in. So like if I'm like red color, I can't see blue, and vice versa. I can't do this. Let's see. Oh, that's wrong. And the black color is just I can see everything. It's like the master color or whatever. Alright, so there were a few problems I ran into in trying to decide certain things. One was the fog of war. So like, in most, if not all RTS games, you have the fog of war where you can't see what some players are doing and they can't see what you're doing and stuff like that. And it's hidden and it's hiding things. Before I placed all these tiles on the board, I just had it to where you just move things. But obviously, if you move something, let's say I just moved this here and there wasn't a tile there, then you'd be like, oh, there's obviously that's an illegal move, by the way, but I'll get to that in a second. So basically, yeah, if you if this wasn't here and you moved like a 2 there, then obviously, the player can be like, oh, okay, you moved the tile there. Like, there's no mystery there. I know what you did. But my solution, hopefully it works, is whenever you move something from one space to another, you swap it with another one in that group. And there's certain rules that you have to keep in mind as well. But like, let's say I wanted to move one of these tiles to one of these over here. You'd like grab them. You'd put them in your. Oh, I forgot to set them as. Whatever. Oh my god! I gotta go in through and do this. Oh no, it's on hands. Oh right, because it's not a one. I don't have a color. You get blue. Alright. Alright, so let's say I wanted to move one of these over here to one over here. So you put one in your hand and like the space that you want to move in, you just put that one in your hand and then you can like flip them. They don't have anything on them because they're blanks. But let's say you wanted to like, oh wait, no. What was it? Shuffle? I forget the shortcuts.
Right.
There goes it.
Oh, there.
Or it's still like, yeah, there you go. The shuffle, and then you'd be like, okay, let's see, what do I want? I want this one to be actually here. Like you can end up placing, not even moving them, but your opponent doesn't know that. Like whether or not you actually move the thing or you just put them back in the same order. And another thing you can do is you can just grab them all. You can just grab them all and bring them into your hand. And then you can just like shuffle them if you wanted to flip them over as well, so you know which ones are there. And you can be like, okay, I actually want this one here. And then, whatever, the other ones go there as well. And so now that you do this, your opponent can't see which piece was actually moved or whatever. But once you do this, you can't move any pieces to or from this spot.
Right.
But let's say I did move those pieces, you still have to. Oh wait, no, what was it? Yeah. As long if you shuffle them, you can't move anything from or to that spot. But after you move a piece, let's say. Okay. I've thought about this like a bunch of different ways, trying to figure out this problem. So the problem now is, let's say I want to move another piece from one of these to a different thing, but I also don't want the player to know which one I moved or whatever, or something like that. Or it's the end of the turn and I already moved everything. But now that player, whatever, whenever you move a piece. So let's say I did move these two pieces, move this one and this one, and I shuffle them or whatever, and then I put them back. So when you put them back, you have to set them to the side like this. That way they're exhausted. But whenever you shuffle them, like I just showed you, all of them in your hand, you can put them back down in any order that you want. There are some rules that you have to take into mind. If you place a structure, you have to show that it's a structure like this. But there's different kinds of structures. So your opponent won't know what structure you actually placed. They just know that there is a structure.
Right.
And whenever you shuffle everything, structures can't move. So whenever you shuffle everything, you have to leave the there. So if you wanted to shuffle everything else, you'd have to bring it in your hand, but you'd have to leave the structure there. Because again, structures can move.
And then, the opponents wouldn't know what they are until they flip it over?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like a fog of war.
Yeah, it's like a fog of war. This is my solution to having a fog of war.
Right.
But this can change. I might have it to where after you shuffle, you can also shuffle the structure. Yeah, I'll see. But the reason why I do it like this is for this exact reason. In StarCraft in particular, you can build bases on certain areas. The problem with some of this is that I'm going to have a rule where you can only build one base per node or whatever. But I might change it, I don't know. Which might also change some of this. If I'd make it to where just one, then I might be able to take away this little rule right here and include the building into the shuffle. But anyways, as you put stuff back down. See, this is one of the tedious things that I have to think about. I wish there was I don't think there's a way to...
What?
That's cute.
Yeah, that's so cute.
No, the reason I'm doing that... Okay, I was checking to see if they shuffled themselves, like, within that area.
Oh.
There's a way to program it, actually. If I were to, like, put a button right here or something and I said shuffle this side, it would be able to do it. But that's more programming stuff. And I'm trying to avoid that because this is an actual board game kind of thing. It'd be easier if it wasn't a board game. I mean, it would be easier if it was a board game because you could just grab them right away and just, do it real quick. Or just grab like a few of them and shuffle those, whatever. Anyways, so once you put a thing down, there's a rule. Once you place a building down, every other turn, you're going to have to put the little timer thing right here. The reason for this is another problem that I ran into, is how do you hide your gold? Like, let's say I build a structure here, and one of the structures, the castle, it gathers resources. So, like, how do you tell the players that that you might be gathering resources, or you might not be gathering resources? And my solution for that was, once you place this down, then every other turn, you start placing these little tokens on there, or to the side, whatever, somewhere. I might change some stuff around, but maybe over here. Okay. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, that should work, because if there's a token on there, that means it's a structure. Yeah. Anyways, every turn you put a little structure on there, and turns keep going and going. And then let's say an enemy finally moves a unit over here. I'm gonna just explain combat, but after everyone's doing their actions, then you do combat checks. And I have to kind of figure out. I know a way to do it in the real world. I would use magnets, but in here I don't know how to program a magnet, so I have to figure out some other way or something.
Right.
Anyways, so let's say there is combat starts here. That's when you do reveal this, and that's when you get the money. And you're like, okay, I get 3 or whatever. And you just flip it, and you're like, okay, that was a. There you go. This is castle. And then you get like these 3 things, and you're like, okay, I get 3 monies or whatever. And you use money to pay for your units and whatnot. Which is another thing, like I just said, like, how do you keep track of, costing units? Obviously, if some units cost more and you pay that much, then the other player's going to be like, well, obviously it's that card because you paid that much gold.
Right.
So my idea was, you can either you don't pay for a unit until it's revealed. See, how was I going to do this? Because I jumped around so many different ways to do it. Because right now they're hidden how much money you have. So what I might do is unhide the counters so you can tell, because you're supposed to be going here too, but you can still press the button? Oh, weird.
Mm-hmm. It's not working.
I gotta fix that. Yeah, you can't click those. You can't mess with the button. That's weird. What the fuck? Yeah, I gotta fix that.
Whoops.
Anyways, because you can just come over here and just be like, you lose all your money. Yeah, okay. So I might unhide the counters or whatever. Just that way it only updates whenever certain things are revealed or whatnot. Anyways, so what I did was you only pay for a unit whenever it's revealed. So let's say I played a unit over here. Oh, that's not where you play units. Let's say I played a unit like over here or something. Like, combat hasn't started yet, but once combat starts, then you reveal them. Then once you reveal them, that's when you pay your gold or whatever.
Right.
Down here. And if you don't have enough gold, then that unit is just dead. Like, you can't use that unit at all. And it's just replaced with another blank space.
Right.
Yeah, whenever combat starts, you reveal all the spaces.
But
or whatever.
you pay on review. What if you have no money? Not enough money.
Yeah, so I said if you can't afford it, then he just dies. You just lose that unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just a fake all along, whatever. Let me do this so I can get both of them. I can't use the hands anymore, but I don't need the hands. Yeah, so that's how combat starts. Let's get rid of this. Oops, that was the wrong button. Whatever, he has some people and he has a guy. Whatever, okay. So you reveal your units or not. Yeah, I gotta figure out how exactly you do a combat check in this particular thing. I'll figure that out. I might just be like, "Do you want to start combat?" And then the other person's like, "Do you want to start combat?"
Yeah.
And like, if one of them says yeah, then you have to at least check or something.
Hmm.
Or maybe I'll do like a world reveal kind of thing. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Anyways, okay. So movement. Whenever you are moving a thing, wait, no. I should have said movement before combat. Shit. Okay. I was gonna go to combat since I'm already on combat. So how combat works is there's 4 different phases. There's what was it? I have it on here somewhere. There was opportunity range, opportunity melee, range, and then melee. So basically, what opportunity range is that in particular the tower. The tower is an opportunity range. So at the start of combat, first we go to opportunity range. So any opportunity range gets their attack. And how you choose an attack. All right, let me explain this first. I got everything. I don't think there is an opportunity. Whatever, let's just call the knight right now. I haven't decided on which ones have what. But yeah, okay, let's just say the knight has opportunity melee. So I got one of each. Okay, so how you attack is it's simultaneous attacking. So both players, that's what these little numbers and these letters are. Ignore the letters whenever you're in combat, because you already know you're on F. You just focus on that one.
Right.
You can like put one there if you want to remind yourself that that's the one that you're doing or whatever. But yeah, okay. So let's say we're focusing on just these. So how it works is you choose a number. You go, okay, I want my 1 in space, whatever. Oh yeah, the numbers go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like in that particular order. Right. It's an S, so it's easier to remember. I kept messing around like how I wanted to do it. It could change, but for now that's what it is. Like it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 was in the middle. I forget why exactly I wanted it to be a certain way, but oh right, because of the map. That's right, because the map has a S shape already. And I didn't want to break from that because the map right now is A, B, C, D is in the middle, E, F, G on the bottom.
Oh, it's already an S shape, right?
Yeah, and I wanted to keep that same consistency in everything else. So I made it like, well, okay, these are going to be also the same kind of shape. That way you're never confused on how the thing, unless it is too confusing, then I'll just be like, okay, I'll just fucking change it, whatever. Okay, comment. Okay, so how this works is you choose which number you want to attack with first, and you go like, okay, I want my number 3. I want that one to attack number 4. You put that there, and then your opponent does the same thing. They choose whatever 3, 7. Obviously, you don't want to show them whenever you're putting it down. And then once both players have their attacks ready, I might have it to where you choose 2 to attack with. But anyways, yeah, once you have your attacks ready, then both players reveal their things. And so he's like, okay, 3 attacks 4. My archer attacks 4, and then his 3 attacks my 7, which would be there. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's not 3, but imagine. Okay, whatever.
2 attacks.
Oh, the number specify what location you're hitting. Right.
Yeah, what location is being attacked. That's weird. Oh, I forgot to change the color of these. Whatever, I'll fix that later. Because these are supposed to be red. They're not. Like these are red, but whatever. Anyways, yeah. So that's how combat works. So number 3 attacks his 7, and number 3 over here attacks his 4. And then pew pew pew, you get the damage. There's gonna be damage counters around here somewhere, but I haven't put them in yet. And then damage gets dealt. And then once that happens, and you calculate who dies, like if the health is too much, then you just get rid of them.
How do you even like keep track of like individual unit health? Like, do you have to remember it?
No. I'm gonna have little counters that you put on them to like damage.
Right.
Things. They're gonna be tiny little pebbles.
Right.
Whatever. They're not gonna have like a bunch of health. Just gonna have like a little. I gotta put a number on each one to determine the attack and the health. And yeah, whatever. I gotta add that anyways. Let me see. What am I doing? All right. Okay. So both players attacked, then they can return their numbers back, and then just do it again. And then you're like, okay, who do I want to attack now? Okay, I want my. Okay. The 4 phases. So that was opportunity range. Then the only one that has opportunity range is the Archer Tower. And now we go to opportunity melee, which would be the knights. And that's what this is. I also have to put like the names and stuff and all that on them and all the other stuff. That's not a problem. So you have the opportunity melee. So then the melee gets attacked. So he's like, same thing. Okay, I choose whatever. Alright, both players reveal. Alright, so my 3/3 attacks my 3 attacks your 3, and his 1, if there was a 1, attacks his 1. Stuff like that. And you keep going until either everything's dead or everything has. Exhaustion. God, I just added this too. Basically, with exhaustion, whenever a unit does attack, you put it sideways. That's how you know it's like exhausted or whatever, and it's already been used, and all that. All that doesn't get used.
Right. The range has already been used. Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just assume that they haven't been reused yet. Actually, it might be confusing with the art because it points in a weird direction. Might have to fix that. Anyways, I'll probably put like a little symbol on here to show which direction it's pointing. Arrow right here. Okay, so once everything is exhausted and nothing else can attack, basically once you go through all the phases. Was that what I did? That's what I did. God damn it, man! I changed the rules so many times already to like try and work with different things and whatnot. Okay, there's 4 phases. Once you go through every phase, the opportunity range, the opportunity melee. Then you go to the regular range, then the regular melee, which was the this dude.
Right.
Yeah, once you go through all the things, then that ends that combat for that turn. And then you check the next one. You go from A to B, A, B, C, D. You go through them, checking for combat checks, and then doing the combat for each one. Go through the 4 phases. And then once you do G and you do the last battle, if there is any, then that resets the entire turn. And now, the ones that are in combat right now, they stay in combat. They stay flipped up. Not until you swap them around or whatever. Oh, is that what No, I changed that. I changed that. So basically what happens is every player gets to flip their stuff back over. Except for the structures. Structures can't move, so they stay where they are.
Right.
And the players always know like where they are and whatnot now. This is important because in combat, I forgot to explain this as well.
You can't
like I just
units in the back or
rules.
something, right?
Yeah. So like melee can only attack like a certain. So like if there's no one in the front, then they can attack the second one. If there's no one in the second one, they can attack the third one. So typically you want the your structures in the back so they can't attack your structures. But some structures will have like more HP and whatnot, so it can protect some of your units. Like if you wanted range units or whatever. And there's going to be like a game of rock, paper, scissors. Like the knights will be able to protect against archers, and soldiers will be able to get past other things, whatever. They'll have their bonuses and whatnot. Or just because like they're cheaper or something, like soldiers will be cheaper. Just to get around some of the whole ranged stuff. And now you have... Okay, yeah. So that explains like melee. Archers can attack anyone. So like, if you have your archers here, they can attack anyone. That could change. I might have it to where you can only attack like 2 or 3 ahead. So you'd have to have an archer like in the front if you want to attack one in the back. Something like that. Whatever. I'll see what the rules turn out to be. Again, I gotta test this as well, but yeah. Anyways, so after all 4 phases go through, flip everything around. Oh, nope. Stop there. There you go. Okay, then you go through the thing, you do the battle checks, then the whole turn stops. Then the whole turn resets. Everything's flipped over, you can do whatever you want. The hell's that?
It's a bar. Jeez.
Oh, I must have pressed something on accident. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Okay. So once you do that, you do all your little combat things, then it goes back. And now you just do what you were doing before. You're like, okay, I want to move this unit over here. All right, I'm not a color right now, so I can't. Yeah, there we go. So you'd be like, okay, I want to move this one here. Just shuffle them. Go there, you go there. I don't think it matters which way you rotate them, so as long as you know. That tells you that you can't move them anymore. And then let's say you moved everything that you want to move. But one of the things you can do is you can move this is a legal move. You can choose 2 empty spaces that you want to swap. So let's say you wanted to swap these 2 right here, and you shuffle them to make it look like you have something.
Right.
That's just to trick the opponent into thinking that you might have something. Because you can do so in StarCraft, there's a thing called a Zerg rush, or just rushes in general. You can do other ways of rushing. So basically, what you can do is you can be like, okay, I'm slowly moving this unit over here. You would shuffle those so your opponent doesn't really know. And then you slowly keep moving a unit closer to their base. Because then they know that there's at least a unit somewhere, maybe. Could be bluffing the entire time. So they might be preparing to put up more defenses and focus on that instead of going out and exploring. Or exploring, or you can just bluff them into thinking like you're adding more to its particular squad or boosting up something, stuff like that. You can also another bonus to making the buildings like that is this could be either a castle to gain resources over there, or it could be a tower, or it could be a reinforcement building to make more of the army, or it could be one of the alchemists, which helped you. I don't really have a purpose for the alchemist yet. Figure something. Oh no! Alchemist was research. That's right. So that's also another reason you would want these. So you would put the alchemist out there, and then you'd start putting these little things onto it. And once one of these reaches, I haven't decided on a number, but once it reaches a certain number, then you get a new research, and I gotta add the researches.
Right.
And then you put the research out down here or something, just to show that you have a research. And then the next combat or whatever, some researches are going to increase attack and defense or how fast something gets. And the only time you reveal that is whenever that particular element is used. So you don't reveal that you have an attack bonus until you actually fight. So that's always going to be sitting here upside down. They know you have a research, but they don't know which research you have. But this is also to keep from cheating or something. So somebody can be like, oh, I totally got a research down here somewhere. This is just for to keep some of that secrecy, the fog of war, but to also make it less cheatable, I guess.
Right. Well, wait,
there might still be
research can boost your attacks and
boost attacks or boost defense.
Right. Boost attack and defenses. Got it.
Yeah. Or other things maybe you get more turns or something. I don't know. I have to work on which ones. I usually look at the actual RTS games because basically all of them are attack and defense. But they have some researches that unlock special abilities or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I do is with a certain research unlocked, I can then build a certain kind of structure or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I'll think about it. Or a particular unit. Whatever, I gotta think about that some more.
Yeah, I think I know I used to play Red Alert, right? You have to have some kind of a radio, I don't know, some kind of a satellite structure before you can do aerial attack and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. Another thing I was thinking about also was to have magic cards. Their spells. Those are gonna be card form, and you can use those to do things let's say you play one and in StarCraft it reveals an area. So it's like you would play it and then you'd be like, okay, reveal all enemy pieces over here or whatever. And I don't know, you put it somewhere to show that it's revealing for a little bit, for like a turn or two.
Mm.
And then that's pretty much it, yeah. And that's the whole board game.
Cool. What's next for you?
I don't know, Chinny. At this point, I don't know. I really want to test this with somebody though, because this is something I've been thinking about for a long time. For a long time, I've been trying to think of a way to put an RTS and make it a board game kind of thing. And I made this in like one day because I was like, oh my god, the itch, it just wouldn't go away. So I had to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I think it solved most of the problems.
Yeah, RTS boiled down into a tabletop form. That's cool.
A BGTS or
yeah. Well, actually, like it used to be board games being the original, right? And then now that we have digital games, so like real time strategy became a thing, and then now it's back to
strategy.
Yeah. It's a cycle, yeah.
TBTS.
That's a turn-based strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Cool man. Okay, shall we recap then?
Yeah.
Yeah, John, let's go.
Yeah, I will finish my tutorial thing for reals this time.
Okay. And I will publish 1.9.0. I do want to include at least one enemy into my shooting game prototype. For now, I'll just call it Captain Carnage. I want to include one enemy in Captain Carnage. And as for this lighting experiment, I want to see if I can fix the corners. Yeah. And even if I fix the corners for this, right, I might need to experiment with like more intricate structures, right? Right. I mean, a cube is very simplistic. Like, what if it's not a cube? Would there be any issues with lighting it? So stuff like that. Yeah. Okay.
It's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I'm sorry. I am going to. I don't even know. Maybe find at least one person to test this with, just so I know it's like doable.
Yes.
And then I'll go back to the other stuff.
Yeah, your defense game, man, that looks almost done.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I don't know. I just. You know anyone that likes board games, Chinny?
Sorry, say again.
Just to get it over with. And you know anyone that wants to play a board game?
Oh, do I know anyone that plays board games?
You're asking Chow.
Yeah, I think Chow plays board games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, he does play.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would like this.
He does more like the monk box stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about.
He does more RPG stuff than he does this kind of stuff.
That's true. Yeah, I don't really know of anyone. Keep an eye out. Maybe we can ask in the server, see if there's anyone who plays. So Strange Deal seems to know Tabletop Simulator. Maybe we can check with Strange Deal, yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to play, let me know. So
alright! Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I guess that's it, right? So...
Yeah, that should be... Oh, another thing is I didn't actually get a lot done this week. This was just done in like 2 days, 1 day.
Oh, that's fast.
The art, at least. But, man, this heat has been really getting to me.
Yeah.
Can't even sleep during the day anymore because it gets too damn hot.
How are
which
you
is
coping?
affecting... What?
How are you coping with the heat?
Man, I'm trying to. We got these little cooling pad things in the freezer. You know, you freeze them and then you take them out and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm using those, trying to go to sleep with those, but they're frozen, so they're way too cold to leave on me.
Right.
While sleeping, and
you could put them in front of a fan. Let the fan blow it.
I don't have any stand-up fans or anything. I gotta go buy one. which I might do next time I go shopping. Because I get all my stuff delivered, so I gotta not do that too often. I can't just like go and get it. I have to wait till I get groceries again.
Right.
Or until they come to me, whatever. I don't go and get them. It's just so convenient, and I don't have a car, so that's why I do that. And I don't want to bug anybody about it. Whatever, it's not a problem. I just gotta wait.
Yeah. It's gonna.
Yeah, but the heat.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what? Go ahead.
I'm just wondering, like, it's gonna be the season is gonna change soon, right? Like, hopefully that helps.
Maybe, I don't know. We're still in what, July, August. I mean, it was kind of cool today, but that's only because I think a storm was about to roll in.
Ah.
But now every other day has just been like sweltering, like sweating in my bed.
Yeah, it's terrible. I can relate.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Yeah, I know you can.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. It's so difficult
Anyways,
to concentrate in the heat as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I haven't been able to work on much, because it's affecting my sleep, which means I'm always groggy and tired, which means I really don't like working when I'm in that state, because it's hard to concentrate.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I didn't actually. Man, there were so many times where during the week I was like, I really want to work on those 2 games, and I was like, oh God, I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
Hot. Yeah.
I feel like crap, man. And I just ended up not doing them, and I was like, it sucks.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I guess you can treat it as a short break, you know.
I do that sometimes, but then I'm like, I get too comfortable. You know.
Yeah.
And then because that's one of the big reasons why I end up jumping games, is because I'm like, oh, I'll just take a break from this game, and then turns out it was like the beginning of burnout, but it wasn't necessarily burnout until I started taking that break, and then it all started setting in, and I guess that fired the flame of the burnout. And eventually it just was like, I don't want to work on that right now. I don't want to work on that right now. And then I ended up jumping to a new idea.
Maybe you can just like work on it a little bit, right? Like, as long as you have a little bit of progress per week, eventually the motivation is gonna come back.
Yeah, as long as it's weird because like if I actually start working on a thing, I'll like stick to it for a good while. But until that actually happens, I gotta get over that hump of, okay, I'll work on this until I start it. Then I'm just like, I don't want to work on that. I don't want to work right now. But once I get into it, even if I like not in the mood and actually start doing it, I can actually stick to it for like a good little while. Unless it's really hot, then I'm just sitting here sticking to my chair, and I'm like, I don't. Just so uncomfortable the entire time.
Yeah. I really need to solve that heat problem.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I'll probably just buy a little stand-up fan.
Yeah, that helps. I recently installed a ceiling fan, and that helps quite a bit.
See, I got a ceiling fan.
Oh, you got it right.
And it's on high right now. That's how hot it's getting.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's the humidity as well. It's if it wasn't for this humidity, it wouldn't be a big problem. But it just makes everything makes you sweat more.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. Oh well, I hope it gets better soon. Yeah, shall we do this again next week? Yep. Next week, Sunday, same time. All right, John. You have had your lunch already, right?
Yeah.
All right, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah.
With your
You too.
girlfriend. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Bye everyone. Bye John. Bye
Bye,
Devious.
everyone.
See you next week. Bye.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yeah, have a good one. Alright, that was fun. So yeah, I think I'm gonna catch a break and see if I can fix this lighting issue. That was a fun one. Hang on there. It's not a lot of us here, but do you think we should do a raid? I'm not sure. Should we raid anyone? I guess we can pay a visit to Carol.
A crispier chicken.
A crispy chicken. Sorry. Oh hey Jung. Just a moment, Three-man voice. Have you looked more into 3D? You mean like 3D assets creation? No, like if you're talking about 3D like using Blender, right? Then no, I have yet to do that because like all of my project is currently 2D, and 3D would require more time, unfortunately. But shaders, writing shader is something that interests me. So it's really fun for me to figure out how to do 3D lighting in a 2D environment. I've tried it once before, but I didn't manage to ship the project because I spent all my time working on the shader and instead of the gameplay. Yeah, but now I'm thinking perhaps trying to do 3D lighting on a sprite stack environment will be fun as well. Yeah, but it's just going to be a side distraction, something to work on and learn from, rather than an actual game project. Yeah, I probably wouldn't make an actual sprite stack game until after I finish my next game. Yeah. Hey Zhang, thanks for hanging around. I appreciate it. So Han asks, is DevChat just for video games? Can we talk about web development? Yeah. We some of us, I mean, John does web development as well, so we do talk about all kinds of stuff development related. Yeah. You have things to share but not game. Oh yeah, sure. Like if you have something ready, you can just let us know beforehand. We will send you an invite. Yeah, we'll find a good time, right? Where like we know that there's like enough time to do everyone's presentation, and then we'll slot you in there. Yeah, I'll be interested to know what you do. Strange Dew says, I feel like I've seen it been done before though. Do you have a reference to that? Yeah, but in any case, it doesn't matter whether it's been done or not. It's like it's more of satisfying my personal curiosity. Yeah. And it's also very likely that if you've seen something like that before, it could very well be actual 3D. Let's see. I finally have a sort of playable version of my game. I can send it to you if you want, but I'm warning you, it is horrible and it can hardly be called a game. Oh, yeah. Send it to me. I'll take a look. Send it. Link it in Discord. Yes, please. I'll love that. Thank you. Just a moment, Oh, just had someone appear in my server that says that Jump Over the Rings is more fun than Saw Blades. Why? Thank you. Just a moment, Stuck at 50 in Saw Blades. Yeah, 75. That's a good score. Does not scale well with different screen because you're horrible with UI design. That's fine. Like we can always fix it later, right? Fix it later. Right. If you have the link ready, right, you can just drop it into the server. You recently joined the server, right? So I look forward to it. I guess for now, right, let's just raid the Carol, and then I need to reply to some of the bug reports in the server. Let me just do like that. Let's pay a visit to Carol. Okay, once again, thank you everyone. I do very much appreciate it. And I will see you all very, very soon. Let me just run the outro.